If you're unfamiliar with Klipsch, they're one of the premier speaker companies for home theater systems. They also happen to make speakers for your computer, and I have had these actually for I think 8 or 9 years. It's been a long time. The sound stays true even to this day. You can't really find a better commercial brand for computer speakers. There are cheaper options out there that are good and will get you by, but in terms of like supreme quality, I absolutely love my Klipsch speakers. Now these are 2.1, meaning there's two satellite speakers and a subwoofer. But first you can see the subwoofer control is on this as well as the main volume. Not only that, but there's a headphone jack which I use for when I want to play video games that require me to wear headphones for more immersion. Plus there's also an auxiliary jack for you to just plug into the speaker and play music differently. So for this you can see I have my subwoofer turned down pretty far as well as my volume. Why? Because it's really good. These always look great, and I'll get to the subwoofer in a second, but I also want to talk about the design. I always have loved the looks of these Klipsch speakers. The way that they've always sat on my desk, it's a little bit cluttered and a little bit dirty off to the side, but overall I think these have always looked fantastic for me. I love the way that they look. But let's talk a bit about the subwoofer. So the subwoofer is a side firing subwoofer. You'll see some other brands that have a downward firing, which means it's going to go directly into the ground. And I think that's more like artificial bass, so you'll normally see it standing up. Klipsch doesn't need that. You can see it's a pretty decent size without being overpowering or oversized. So this has a really nice sub to it. It definitely keeps up for when you want to crank it up. It's really nice. And I can tell you, if you're living in an apartment, don't turn this up unless you really want your neighbors to hear it. But if you're living alone, you're going to find that you can really crank this and you're going to enjoy a lot of the sound and the bass that comes out. For the back, there's the preamp, which does connect directly to the main speaker. That's where you have your controls. And then of course you have your stereo speakers that go to your left and right channel, and then your power cable that goes into the subwoofer that generates that power for the preamp to go to the speakers. But overall, the Klipsch brand really lives up. These things have been one of the highest rated computer speakers for years. They continue to remain top tier. I love these things. If these things ever break, I will definitely be grabbing another pair. But going on 8 or 9 years now, I don't know how long they'll last, but I can tell you I've gotten a lot of use out of these, and these things are amazing.